Yo, what is going on, everybody? Episode 89 of many. Happy New Year's. It's 2026. New year, new you. It's time for you to become the best version of yourself. Every year happens. Every year comes and goes. Time is never going to stop for any of us, right? It's this constant thing, right? Time is always going. And every year, we close the previous chapter and we open the next one. And we do the same thing every year. The majority of us does, right? The average human, the average person, the average American, we set new goals. We start the goals maybe it lasts a day, a week, a month, maybe half a year, whatever it is. And then we just go back to our old self. The average American, it takes less than a couple weeks and we're back to our old routine. My question for you, I was just thinking of this. My question for you is this, for the new year. For your future life, thinking years and years in advance, depending on your age, do you want to be that individual that's 50, 60, 70 maybe, and it seems like they're at the end of the road, they're ready to call it a life, they've lived enough life, or do you want to be that 50, 60, 70-year-old that can't wait for tomorrow, that can't wait for, that's filled with this energy? And the reason I ask this is we all know that person, right? You know that person that you've met and they tell you they're 55 and you're like, oh my gosh, I would have guessed they're like 70, right? They're out of shape. They've got a limp here. They've got a walker. Like they can't function, to the full ability anymore. Right. And maybe that person's been through it. Maybe that person's had some specific situations. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying this general idea of this person. I've met and I've been reading a lot of these books where I'm reading about 80-year-olds that are, they're this massive figure and they're willing to hop on the plane and go meet this person, go meet that person. They want to be in the center of attention. They're full of life. They're full of energy. And they're just like, they have so much more to accomplish. So my question to you is, do you want to be that individual that feels like I'm ready to call it a life? I want to, I'm past my prime. I can't handle it. I can't do it. Or do you want to be that individual that's full of life, willing to take on any challenge? Age is just a number, right? Like, that's what we want to strive for. I know that's what I want to strive for. So I hope you guys open your eyes. You realize, there you go. I just said eyes twice there. I want you to realize that we're playing the long game. This isn't about tomorrow. This isn't about, next week. This is about 5, 10, 20, 30 years from now. And it starts today. It's 2026. You've got a fresh slate. We all have this magic power. It's a new year. Again, it's a new chapter. Like we get this feeling of throwing out yesterday, and we're ready to go like for the new year. Like we all have this like I said, this great power. Some of you might wake up hungover, but you've already set some goals. You've got some ideas, or you're waking up. You're like, So I want you to harness this power, and I want you to actually use it. I want you to put your foot down. I want you to actually make change. And there's people that say the same message every year. But if I can help one of you, two of you, a handful, I don't care. If I can help one person really grasp this year and make great change in their life, that's all that matters to me. So I want you to truly think about what you want to accomplish. What is it that you want in 5 years, 10 years' time? How do you want to be, again, when you're 70 and you're 80? Do you want to be able to take care of yourself? Do you want your kids to take care of you? Do you want to live in a home, or do you want to live on your own, right? Like, do you want to be able to go grocery shopping and get your own stuff, or do you want to have somebody do that for you? I think these are valid questions, and I don't think enough of you are thinking far enough in advance about these items. So, again, it's 2026. The choice is yours. You have the power. You have the will. Like, you want to be something that you're not currently. Like, you want to be a better you. We all have it inside of us. It just comes down to how motivated are you and how disciplined can you be to accomplish those things. You need to be in the right room. You need to have the right people around you. You need to have the right support team. At the end of the day, all you have is yourself, but humans thrive on interaction and people and a team, right? Like, the stronger your team is, the further you can go. The more accountability, that they can hold you more accountable, and you can be more motivated. And so anyways, I'll stop in my New Year's rant, but it is 2026. This is your one chance to make a difference. You've got this power. You've got this feeling. You feel good about it. Don't don't just let this be another year. Don't fall back into the same person you've always been. I'm not saying we don't love you for you. That's not what we're saying here. But there's always room for improvement. There's always chasing perfection. We're never going to reach perfection. Humans love trying to chase perfection, but we're never going to get there, right? There's always going to be a little bit better that we can do. So I want you to think, how can I be better this year? What did I do last year that I could be a little bit better at this year? Maybe it's one skill. Maybe it's your diet. Maybe it's your fitness routine. Maybe it's you want to read more. Maybe you want to go for walks more. Maybe you want to have less screen time. Maybe you want to, whatever it is. You want to spend more time with your family. Maybe you have moved out of the house and you haven't seen your parents in a while, right? Maybe your parents are getting older and you only got, this is interesting, right? Say your parents are 70. The average American lives to say 75. I don't know what the specific number is right now, but 75 we'll use, right? And let's say you see your parents twice a year. Christmas and Thanksgiving, right? Or whatever. Christmas and their birthday. Christmas and the 4th of July. Let's say you see them twice a year. You've moved out. You've started your family. You see your parents twice a year. They've got 5 years of life left. That means you're seeing them 10 more times. How do you feel about that? Like, is that okay to you? Like, that's just an interesting way to think about it, right? So if you're at that stage of your life, if your parents are at that stage of their lives, think about that, right? Like this year, who do you want to be? Who do you want to see? Where do you want to go? What do you want to accomplish? What kind of person do you want to be? When you look in the mirror, what do you want to see looking back at you? So it's 2026. Make it your year. Be the best you. That's all I've got on my motivation, my little speech for you. That's what I've got. So today, it's going to be a shorter episode. I've got G, the producer, sitting here with me. I am going to do a mock, like a workshop, essentially. And I'm just going to have you guys listen in and watch in, essentially. I'm not going to do like an expanded version of this. I'm just going to feel like I'm not even talking to the camera here. I'm just going to be talking back and forth with him. I'm going to write down the pillars of the goals that I usually like to talk about with my team, my friends, and my family. And him and I are going to talk back and forth. We're just going to get a couple goals down. They might be accurate. They might not be. This is something I'm kind of putting G on the spot right here for today's podcast. So he still needs some time to think about what he wants to accomplish. But anyways, so listen on. This is how I would normally sit down with my staff, review, and kind of set the new year goals. What do we want to accomplish? So again, for today's conversation, we're not going to use real terms. I'm not going to, if he has a goal of saving X amount of dollars for his finances, I don't need him to tell you guys what that number is, but we're going to set some goals down, and I want you guys to kind of tune in and just see. So that way you guys can maybe take this home and do it for yourself. So anyways, so I will first talk you guys through the main pillars that I like to go over here. So, and what I'm going to do, I think, G, I'm going to talk about these pillars, and you and I are just going to kind of fill them out together. If I have any questions for you, I'll shout at you. But so the 4, 5, 6 pillars, I don't know, let me think here. Usually what we do is we have a fitness goal. We've got our finance goals, and I could probably shorten this up. These are some of the categories I do. We'll dive into this a little bit more. So fitness, finance, and fitness can be like general health and nutrition, right? Like we don't have to break all of those out. And for me, like this year, I don't really have a specific like weightlifting style goal, even though I'm a big weightlifter. I think more of my goals will be my running focus right now, because that's what I'm into. So for example, for me, I'm probably going to do, train for a half marathon, right? Like that's going to be a big goal for me. So fitness, health, nutrition, that's kind of pillar 1. We've got finance. I always like to write down vacations because I always want to know where my team wants to go and when. 1, that helps us plan, but 2, I want to make sure they're forward thinking and actually having a plan of attack for vacation this year. If you don't plan it, you're not going to do it. So I don't care if you tell me, hey, I want to go to whatever state, country you want to go to, and I'm thinking about going in the month of X. Like that's good for now. I want you to hone in on that, but I just want to have an idea so that way I can hold you accountable there as well. So fitness, health, nutrition, finance, vacation. I always like to talk business goals. This would be like personal business goals and like business goals. So like the company's goals, right? So like, what do you want to get better at this year in your position, in your job? What do you want to improve on? Maybe you want to get a raise. Maybe you want to get a new position within the company. Maybe you want to take more of this or that. And then also, I like my because we're a small group here, I like my team to think about, from your position, what do you want to see the company improve on? Or what do you want to see us do better on? Now, some of my team might have a revenue goal. They might think, hey, I want to help the company make more money. I want to do more installs with this or with that, right? I want to hear what they want to see for vision as well. I'm trying to think here. Am I missing finance, vacation, business, personal, and company? I think the last one that I like to do is kind of like education / personal, we'll call it, / family. For example, if anybody on my team wants to buy a house, if any of my team wants to move out from their parents, if anybody on my team wants to, obviously education speaks for itself. I want to have a reading goal. I want to, study the Bible more. I want to, these are just some things that I've heard, right? So that's kind of like your personal goals there. So we break all this out, and now we kind of go through this. So I will walk you through some ideas of some of my goals, and then hopefully this can kind of give you some insight on how I like to do this. So we'll start with like fitness, health, and nutrition. G, I'm just going to talk to you here. You give me some stuff back. I'm going to write it down. I will talk to them. So fitness, health, and nutrition. What kind of goals might you have this year regarding fitness, health, nutrition? I'm just trying to give them examples here. So this doesn't have to be like set in stone. You can use some past goals, but if you were going to dial in your fitness routine or your nutrition, and mind you guys, when we're doing these goals, some of these goals might be for the entirety of the year. Some of these goals might be for the first 30 days. I know G and I in the past, we did dry January last year, so we didn't have any alcohol last year. We've done, again, specific goals for specific times. So I'm just trying to get some stuff on a piece of paper here so that when I meet with my team in 90 days, the ideal scenario is I would meet with each and everybody on my team every 90 days. I'd bring this pad of paper. Usually I transfer this to my computer. And I'd say, gee, how was that? How'd January go? Did you drink any beer? And you go, no, I didn't. Or I totally forgot that was one of my goals, right? So give me a fitness goal this year, something that is personal to you. What are you working on right now in your fitness routine?
I want to run a half marathon by the end of 2026, whether that's in competition or that's just running through town, at home, on the treadmill, whatever.
Okay, so half marathon. So this is what I would do. Half marathon by end of 2026. Okay? So I'm telling you guys this is exactly what I do. So when I'm having my meetings with these individuals, this is how it's going, right? And so if you guys are understanding where I'm coming from, I am right now writing down Garrett's things. I'm going to repeat them back to him so he knows I'm listening. I'm going to put this on a docket later, and that's how I do this. So give me something for nutrition. You've got something that you want to work on for nutrition, whether it's the month of January, general things with your diet right now. Maybe you want to try some new food in general. Maybe you want to eat more exotic shit. I don't know. Maybe you want to try one new food a month, like random stuff like this, right? Like this is where my mind's going.
Let's say I want to go back to the carnivore diet for the month of January.
Okay. So
just like I did last year.
Okay. Carnivore diet for month of January. Okay. I always think, for those of you listening, Garrett might just be saying that for the pod.
I am.
Okay. For those of you listening, though, I do actually like the idea of going a strict diet for 30 days. It might not be reasonable for you long term to have such a strict diet, but as far as like a reset, they talk about like detoxes, they talk about these things. It's a great time to do it. Start with January 1st. You're motivated. You've got this energy. I'm hoping you stick with it, but do something different for the month of January. Give your body a little reset. Carnivore is a great way to do that. You get all the junk out. You've only got meat and eggs. Your body can definitely, if you don't believe in the carnivore, your body will definitely be okay for the 30 days. And then you can kind of mix some foods back in, right? You can bring in your avocado, your banana, your apples, right? Your whole foods. We obviously coach whole foods here. We don't want you eating junk food. So great. Carnivore diet for the month of January. Is there anything else you want to accomplish inside the gym? Anything you want to do? I know we've had push-ups and pull-up goals in the past, cardio goals. We're doing a half marathon by the end of 2026. That's great. Is there anything that you want to do inside the gym specifically? Anything that you want to work on more this year? Hey, I want to get back on the bench a little bit more. I want to, it doesn't really matter. I want to get a six-pack abs. I want to do more core, anything just generally.
I don't have a general fitness goal.
Okay. So as you can see here, when I'm doing these interactions, right, and I guess I'm coaching you guys. If you're in a leadership or management position, or maybe if you've got kids and you want to have conversations with them too, I'm just trying to spur ideas here. I'm not asking G to give me the exact by when date. I'm not having him make me the smart goal. I want to write this stuff down, and then I want to help coach on this as we move forward. So for right now, we're going to leave it there. I also don't want to have too many things on here, so this is fine. So our fitness, health, and nutrition goals this year are half marathon by the end of 2026, and then we're going to do a carnivore diet for the month of January. That is our current fitness, health, nutrition goal. Okay, so let's talk finances. What do we want to accomplish with finances this year? Do you have any goals? This is where I would ask, my team. I know my brother, obviously, but I would ask, do we have any debts that we want to pay off or pay down? And if so, let me help you create a plan for that, right? Like that would be one of the conversations that I have. Debts are always a good thing to attack right away. You've got the new year feeling. Let's get a game plan there. So G has an emergency fund. We're not going to talk specific numbers, like I said. But for example, let's say G last year was putting in $50 a week for his emergency fund. And the emergency fund is also like just a money market account for those of you listening. So if you don't know what a money market account is, go back and listen to some of my finance episodes. But basically, the emergency fund is a great way to have money set aside. It's not a savings account. It's going to grow with some interest. You're going to make some money off of that. So for the sake of this episode, we're going to say that G is going to increase, I'm going to write EF, emergency fund, by, we're going to say $100 a month, right? So it's an extra $1,200 a year for those of you listening. Obviously, it's a great place to start. We should have some finance goals. It doesn't need to be crazy. You might be trying to buy a house. You might be trying to pay off a mortgage. You might be trying to pay down credit card debt. Something you guys could also consider too. Let's say you have a couple different debts, credit cards, student loans, right? Whatever it may be. You can actually get a loan from your bank to consolidate those loans. So then you just have one payment. I know some people get stressed and overwhelmed by having multiple different accounts and multiple different, IOUs. It's not a bad idea to maybe refinance, get some of those loans all under one, umbrella, and then just have one monthly payment. It'll simplify it in your brain. It'll be nice and easy. Instead of paying $75 here, $200 there, $25 here, hey, I've got a loan I pay $400 a month for, and that took care of all my other payments, right? So if any of you need questions or help on any finance stuff, I'd be more than willing to give you some input there. So G's one finance goal this year is we're going to increase our emergency fund by $100. Great. Vacation. Let's talk about, where do you want to go this year? Give me a place that you'd like to travel to. You could pick literally anything. It could be a fucking state.
Let's just say I want to go to Cuba this year.
Cuba. Okay, so we're going to go to Cuba. Okay, I don't know anything about Cuba, and I don't think you do either. So we're gonna go with Cuba in March, because March is still not the best weather here, and I would imagine that it's nicer in Cuba. So we're gonna go Cuba in March. Otherwise, if not March, another good time would probably be like December or something. I don't know. For the sake of this, we're gonna write Garrett's gonna go to Cuba in March. Thank you for taking that one very seriously. Think about this. Give me one of these. So one thing you and I just talked about is maybe doing like Brewers games, right? Away games. This would also be considered like kind of your vacation goal. We'll call this vacation / travel. So for those of you listening, something to think about. If you like sports, you like going to Packers games, Brewers games, Badgers games, Bucks games, maybe you're a different sports fan. We like the Broncos, right? Setting a goal for how many games you'd like to attend is always a good thing too. So how many, we went to a couple Brewer games last year. How many Brewer games do you want to go to this year?
Yeah, I'd say 5 home games, 2 away games.
Okay, so we're going to 7 games, okay? All right, so just like that, we've got a couple travel goals now, right? And so the benefit here is that you are telling yourself you're willing to go do this stuff. So for me, some things I'm thinking about is our cabin. We've got a family cabin up north. It is literally a cabin in the woods. It's nothing to write home about. It's more of a hunting shack, but it needs some attention up there. We need to get up there more often. So I'm going to try to get up to the cabin like 3 or 4 times next spring and summer. We, mow the lawn, all of that. So good job, G. You're going to go to Cuba sometime, and you're going to do 5 home Brewer games and 2 away games. So that's great. We've got something on the books for vacation and travel. We've got 2 more pillars here. Let's talk about business personally and business for the company. So with what you currently do, what is one thing that maybe you can improve on for 2026 that would help the business? So this is like a personal, your routine, what you do, your role in the company. What's a new skill maybe you can learn more about? AI, I think, would be a good one. So for those of you listening, what I want you to think about here is, what do you do every single day at work? What are some things that you feel like maybe you could take on? Maybe there's somebody else in the office that kind of does this one thing, but that's not their main focus. Maybe you could help with that one task, right? Maybe, hey, I already do the scheduling for residential stuff. If I could just do some of the commercial scheduling for Tom, I think I could do it with my current schedule and my current routine, and Tom would be more free to go do what he's good at. Maybe Tom's a salesman or something, right? So think about those skills, and then think about the items that you don't really know a lot about that you think would directly benefit your position, right? So for Garrett's sake here, we always talk about AI. It's something I want to learn more about. We're just going to write, 1 hour, we're going to say 2 hours of AI per month, right? Something that just gives us some insight there. Okay. What is last one we're going to do here on the business side of things? Is there anything that you'd like to see the company accomplish more of, or, so this would be like, I want to, from your standpoint, I'm trying to think for G here, for the business company aspect, Garrett's directly involved with getting us new gym members, new personal training clients, right? So Garrett's direct goal could be, I want to help the personal training department get 50 new clients or something, right? Like that would be something fair to write here. So we'll write 50 new PT clients. Okay, good there. The last one that we're going to talk about, education, personal, family. Do you have any goals for you for education this year, or anything that you generally want to work on?
Yeah, read 10 pages a day for the whole year.
Reading 10 pages per day over the year. Good, easy, attainable. I like it. Okay, we'll leave it that for education purposes. I don't even know what I would, any personal or family style goals. I'm trying to think. Some of you out there, again, might have goals for family stuff. This would be like, maybe start a family. This would maybe be like buy a home. This might be like buy a second home. This might, this wouldn't be like family vacation, but this would be like some things that you want to accomplish for your family, with your family, right? G and I don't have a whole lot of that going on, so we don't have to worry about that. And then a personal goal, this would be if you had, this could be kind of like any personal habits. So, hey, I want to, let's say you own a bunch of white shoes. I want to wash my white shoes. I've got golf clubs. I never wash my golf clubs. Hey, I want to wash my golf clubs once a month this year. Keep, whatever these personal little goals and habits might be. I don't want you to make this list 20 things. Like right now, G and I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things across 4 or 5 pillars here. So I just wanted to kind of walk you guys through that, how this meeting would go. Garrett would, again, this was just kind of putting Garrett on the spot, but Garrett would kind of have an idea of goals that he has. Usually my team, they'll come together with a list of things. Then I'll kind of break down each pillar and they'll kind of give me their thoughts here. Sometimes they have no idea. Sometimes they like, I don't really have any personal education goal. I don't really want to go anywhere, whatever it may be. And I say, no problem. Just keep it in mind. If you want to think about it, that's great. I will kind of interview. I will listen. I will write these things down. I will maybe help give you a more defined outline of, hey, when do you want to do this by? Or when do you want to accomplish this by, right? And then usually what I do is I go over some of my goals too, so they know and can help hold me accountable. I will tell them all of my personal goals, like we just reviewed. Hey, I want to have abs next year. I want to go to Cuba. I want to, whatever that may be. So they're fired up with me. I'm fired up about their goals, right? That's how I walk through the goals. And if you are in a leadership position, a management position, if you are doing this with friends or family, the perfect world might be to do this every 30 days. What is the next month's goals, right? So you break it down. You have got your year goals, you've got your quarter goals, and then you've kind of got like your 30-day goals. I do not do a good enough job, and I'm not going to pretend that I do, that I sit down with each and every person on my team every 30 days and review. How are you doing? Are your goals in line, right? And I think that's something I could do more of. It's just not always easy to get that time scheduled with our people. So if you're going to do this with friends and family, if you can do it every 30 days, check in with each other, hold each other accountable, kind of get that weekly text going on saying, hey, how's it going? How's your fitness goals going, right? That would be great. If you're doing this in a leadership position, if you can do this, if you can write these goals down and print them off and have your staff sign them or your team sign them, and then again, review them every quarter, that's great. I don't recommend doing this just on January 1st and then never touching it again. Like, you as a leader, as an individual, as a parent, as a spouse, should be reviewing these goals with your whomever and work on that accountability feature. So anyways, it's 2026. Make it your year. Be the best you. Again, do you want to be that person that's full of life at 60, 70, 80? Do you want to be that person that's ready to call her a life, call her a day, right? We all know that person that's 20 years older than they actually are. Don't be that person. Be the best you. Today's your day. This year's your year. Write down your stuff. Figure out your goals. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one. I will see you on the next one.